Hi guys, Space Cowboy here again. Okay, I know I said my next video was going to be after I've got all the viewpoints. That's not happened, but what I've decided to do is do a little video of me getting the viewpoints. You don't have to watch this one if you don't want to. You can just skip ahead to the next one. This entire video is just going to be me running about, getting all the viewpoints. However, I did need to start again because while I was getting a viewpoint, I've discovered something. It's a little music box. So I've paused it right away. What I'm going to do is resume to see what happens next, and then we'll continue with the video just getting all the rest of the viewpoints. I had 3 done and I had a few more to go, so we'll just start and see what happens now. Oh. Okay. What was that? Oh, a collectible. There's a vault. Right, once we've got all the viewpoints, that's our next point of order. We're going to check out that vault. Because generally, the vaults mean you can unlock a special piece of armour. And that is always my go-to in these games. The only game I didn't do it in was Unity because, I hate to say it, but sod all those stupid riddles, the Nostradamus stuff. I honestly thought that was the biggest load of BS ever. Sorry, I'm not one for swearing, so I do say BS instead of the actual proper term for it, sorry. But yeah, that really bugged me no end because it wasn't feasible. I know a lot of people might have been, well, you could use a walkthrough, and yeah, you could. I'll be honest, I've got the entire walkthrough of Syndicate over on a chair over in the corner of the room there, along with an Arkham Knight walkthrough. But they are I bought them cheap on the Christmas, the Boxing Day sale. I went into the shops, and sure enough, they were on sale, really cheap, £5 each, which I thought was really good for actual strategies. And the only reason I bought them is because I knew I was going to be playing these games for YouTube. And I thought if I ever got really, really stuck, and I mean mega stuck, I could spend hours looking online, going to GameFAQs, finding the right bit, hunting YouTube for other people's walkthroughs, just to see how it's done. Or if I've got a book there, use that, find what I'm looking for, and we're done. So I got them. And so far not had to open them because I'm just in the starting stages of each game. So why would I need to use a walkthrough? So, but they're only there for if I really need to find a little collectible where I can't find the last bit, because I've been stuck in games like that before. So, yeah, let's. Oh, it's trying to rope me into a mission now because I've walked into the territory. So we'll get out of the territory and get to the viewpoint. Let's get down here. Yeah, we're out of here. I do like all the little touches they've got here. Like you've got the guy with the sandwich board. There was a part earlier where it was almost like I crossed an invisible boundary, but it was very natural, like how they do it in cities. In one moment I was in an industrial area, and the next part I was in a rundown kind of slummy kind of street area. Something that's very reminiscent of UK. You know, the UK back streets of the 80s, 70s and 80s. It's not like that now, but back then it was. And if you ever watched the TV show, the British TV show Life on Mars, they did an excellent idea of what that was like on one of their episodes where Sam, the main character Sam, visits his like area in his past. So like his street, his house, he actually visits it, and I had that feeling when I was playing this, even though it's the 1800s and not the 70s. It still had that kind of feel to it, so it was really cool, like how they designed it. And I know they use like the real London to go off a baseline. It's not obviously, you know, the size of how the real London is, but it was interesting how they did it and the transition from it, because in a lot of games it can be quite jarring. I remember San Andreas, the original Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. When you cross from city to street area, it wasn't natural. It just sort of was like, okay, you have crossed this invisible boundary, you're now in a highly like business area. They fixed that with the later iterations of the Grand Theft Auto games. You like Grand Theft Auto 4, and then with 5, they got really good at that, like how to transition from one area to the next. Really, really cool how these guys have done it. I never really noticed it before because in the past it's not something you would notice. The kind of buildings all blended together because there was no distinct real areas, so to speak. I know they tried to do it in the Unity, but I didn't feel it worked. One area kind of looked like the other, except when you got to the rich area, but it never really blended well because right beside the rich area was a mega poor area, so there was no transition. Whereas I felt there was. Okay, so we're going this way. I'm basically not getting involved in anything story or plot wise. I'm trying to keep out of it. If I see another music box and it is in my path, except this for this one, I will get it. But I'm trying to do stuff as out of the plot as possible. But little out of the way things that I'm never going to see again because I'm going a very circuitous path. I'll stay out of. But you know, this video is just all about getting the landmarks so that we can progress with the story. I am looking forward to playing Evie's mission, going to Edward Kenway's house. Edward Kenway, if you're not familiar with the series, Edward Kenway was the protagonist of Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, who originally was quite poor, went and was, I think it was he married? I'm not sure. One of them married or together with a woman, and the woman's father disapproved and didn't want her with this guy, so he decided rather than be a poor farmhand all his life, he was going to go to the Caribbean and become a pirate for a couple of years. Earn enough money to come back and be a wealthy man. So in the end, he ended up becoming an assassin by stealing one of their coats, which is the oddest way to become an assassin. You just nick their coat and suddenly, you know, you've got the knife, the wrist, you know, with the knife things and wrist blades. I don't know where my tongue is today. You've got the wrist blades and suddenly you're stabbing people for fun. Odd, but you know, I went with it because it was Assassin's Creed and it was a different style. I'm probably one of the minority that actually enjoyed 3, Assassin's Creed 3. Really enjoyed it. And I think the reason I enjoyed it is because I got way into it. Like the story, I couldn't really care less about the American Revolution and all that nonsense. I didn't really care, but I loved Connor's story because in the missions you saw him very stoic and he was like, you know, all about his people. But, and this is the big but of the game, and a lot of people don't realise this, a lot of people don't even do it, which I find really odd. If you play the homestead missions, where Connor builds up a homestead, he starts getting people to work in the area where he has, the guy that's training him, has, Achilles is training him, has this homestead, and it's a big area. Where lots of people could live, and what Connor does is he finds these people, helps them and advises them the homestead, and actually gets these people to like build up a little town in this area, and they all come together and it's like a little community. And what was awesome about it is if you actually paid attention to those bits with Connor, you saw in character when he is walking down the aisle. He's getting married and he's walking her down there instead of her father. Her father's dead, but Connor's become such a part of the community and such a focal point of it that she wants him to walk her down the aisle to get married. And I thought that was awesome. You see him smiling, you see him laughing, and I loved that. And that's what got me into 3. I mean, the story took a really bad left turn in the last half hour. I'm going to spoil Assassin's Creed here for you. Connor's father is one of the Templars, and throughout the story, Connor has some run-ins with him, but he knows he has to kill him. Sorry, taking a drink of Pepsi there. So Connor has to kill his father. So that's the big thing. And I thought that would be the final, like the final mission would be Connor has to take this huge step and kill his father, and it would be a landmark moment. It would be the end of the game. No, it's not at the end of the game. What happens is Connor kills his father, and the game trundles on for another hour or 2 hours because you're trying to kill this other guy who may or may not have set the fire that burned the village that you used to live in, the village that killed your mother. But the fact is Hatham, who's Connor's father, is the person that ordered it. So why wouldn't Hatham Kenway, who everyone, I mean no one will disagree, Hatham Kenway was an awesome character, why wouldn't the final fight be between Hatham and Connor? I found that the biggest misstep in Assassin's Creed history, because, well, a lot of people would say differently, but that bugged me, and that's why I didn't like how Assassin's Creed 3 finished up. But I loved all of Connor's like side stuff, and all the little, there was like hunting missions where you were to investigate like monsters that people were seeing, and you found out it was people using like various diving equipment to be a sea monster that was stealing things from ships and things. It was really cool stuff. So, you know, like I say, I'm probably one of the few people in the world that likes a game, but I thought it was great fun. And because in Assassin's Creed 3 they introduced the sailing mechanic, the sailing was great. And a lot of people, because I think Assassin's Creed 3 was critically panned, I think it sold well. I think it did okay sales-wise, but it was critically panned. A lot of people, like, it was mocked online viciously. I think Ubisoft were targeted a hate campaign for it because it wasn't Ezio again. I think what a lot of people missed, it wasn't the fact that Connor wasn't a likeable character, because he wasn't, if you just played the main missions, he wasn't a likeable character, but he wasn't the fun character that Ezio was. So, They were targeted for that, and Assassin's Creed 3 didn't do well, but it introduced sailing. So for the fourth game, and a lot of people think it wasn't planned, and maybe it wasn't, but it seemed like it was. They did a game where sailing was the main mechanic. You were a pirate. It was Assassin's Creed with pirates, and it was great. It was a really fantastic game. It was fun. The sailing was fantastic. The fact that doing what you game was, you're essentially upgrading your ship by looting and plundering, and you were also living through the pirate kind of times of the pirate revolution. And a lot of people might think it's like, oh, the pirate revolution, and you know, that would be awesome, and they've heard tales of swashbuckling and things, and yeah, the game had some of that, but it actually showed you what the real problems were, because they tried to have this city. And I don't know how much of this is fact, but in the game they tried to have this city that was a freehold. It was going to be all about, like, you're a free man and pirates can live here, and, you know, we're not going to do anything wrong here. But when a city is ruled by pirates, nobody wants to do the work. So, it's a city run by a bunch of drunks. And in the end, the city just fell into disrepair. It was like, when you first go to it, it's an okay city. By the time that game ends, that city is a pile of junk. It's got rats, it's infested, there's disease everywhere. So it showed you that the dream the pirates had wasn't attainable, and that's what I loved about Assassin's Creed 4. And by the end of Assassin's Creed 4, you see that Edward Kenway has moved back home. And you see that he's actually done quite well for himself, because by the end of the game, I actually think he had quite a bit of money, but he also had the knowledge of being an assassin. He actually formally became an assassin. That made the whole story kind of come round. So the fact that in this game, very soon, once I've got all the viewpoints, as a character of Evie Fry, we're going to go to Edward Kenway's house and investigate, that's exciting to me. That is going to be fun. Because they might, and I hope, they probably will, and I know it sounds silly to say I hope they do, but they probably will have lots of Easter eggs to 4, which I'm really looking forward to, so that will be a lot of fun. But like I say, this video is just about getting the viewpoints, and in the next video I'm going to just play as Evie, and because I've been waiting so long for it, I'm just going to do that mission. I know I was going to do a couple of side missions as Jacob, but got myself excited for this mission as Evie exploring Edward Kenway's house, so it's exactly what I'm going to do once I've got the viewpoints, because yeah, that's got me interested. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I know I shouldn't be this excited for something like that, but I am. It's really cool. I'm a big fan of this series. Like, I have played the side-scrolling ones on my PlayStation 4 before it died, which is an ongoing theme. I keep mentioning that every episode. I don't know why. It's not a slam in the PS4 because I'm going to get another one very soon. Probably within the next 6 months or so. Maybe I'll have a PlayStation 4 that I'll be streaming from as well. But my PlayStation 4 died. I decided to get an Xbox instead, purely for backwards compatibility was a big thing. Also the indie games like your Adventures of Van Helsing and things like that are really cool. And they're not coming to the PlayStation 4. They might be eventually, but at the time that I was choosing, they weren't there at that point. So I decided to go for the Xbox. Got the Xbox. Really happy with it. So yeah. So my PS4 died, and I had a lot of digital games on it. One of the digital games was the Assassin's Creed trilogy, and I played a bit of China was the first one, and it was okay. It was all right. I'm not gonna complain about it. It was all right. Am I sneaking into Buckingham Palace here? I am. Okay, this is interesting. So we'll go up here and we'll get this viewpoint and then we'll get out here. I mean, I would explore Buckingham Palace in more detail, but I guess it's probably getting the way the intro started. But yeah, I played the trilogy. Well, I say I played the trilogy. I played China. Just before my PlayStation died, I got a good go of China, and it was alright. I can't say it was great because it wasn't. It was alright. I didn't think it was the worst. It was a nice experiment. But I think what they should have done... Another sip of Pepsi. What they should have done is took a look at Mark of the Ninja and stole it. Not to put too fine a point on it. Stole everything they did. They took some of the ideas and some of it was alright, but they should have just ripped that off wholesale because that was incredible. Mark of the Ninja, stealth game there has ever been. It visualized the mechanics in so many unique ways, and they didn't do that. They kind of took their own little spin on it, and Ubisoft have been known to do that, take their own spin on things, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. This time, sadly, it didn't. Okay, so we're 3 viewpoints away from finishing. Excellent. Okay, we'll get these last 3 viewpoints. Oh, I did mark it, sorry. So, yeah, that's kind of my history with the Assassin's Creed games. So far, nothing new's been announced yet. There's a lot of talk of, is it Empire or something like that? There's a lot of talk about it, but nothing's been revealed as yet. A lot of people were thinking, because of the way Ubisoft integrates things, that maybe Assassin's Creed Watch Dogs was going to be Assassin's Creed in the present. I think that's a bad idea, integrating those two worlds. Watch Dogs got its own unique feel, Assassin's Creed got its own unique feel. Integrating the two worlds as the same, for people that didn't play the first or second Watch Dogs game, I think that's... but they loved Assassin's Creed, they're going to be peed off because maybe they don't want to play those games. So integrating those worlds, I think, would be a bad idea, and I don't think they will. I honestly don't think they will do that. I think because Watch Dogs didn't take off the way it should have. And Watch Dogs 2, people have said is alright. I watched a YouTube video of a guy playing it. I wish I could remember his name because I would recommend you to watch this video. It's this guy basically having fun in Watch Dogs, and It is funny. The guy just does like a whole load of different weird things around, just running around. It's like the episode is a 12-minute video of this guy just having a blast in Watch Dogs 2. And I don't want to ruin for you, but there's a funny Steam joke that blew me away. Not making fun of Steam at all, because it's actually, you have to watch it. If I remember, when I'm putting this video up, I will put a link to the video that I'm talking about, because it was incredible. The guy was really funny. So yeah. Okay, so we've got two more of these to go. But yeah, so I don't know what the next Assassin's Creed game's going to be. I don't know what time period. I mean, would they go back? I mean, would they go back again? Because they did that with Black Flag. Black Flag takes place before 3. And then I think the way it works is it's Black Flag, Rogue, then 3 is the timeline. I may be mistaken, usually am wrong with things like this, but so would they go back again? That's the thing I'm wondering. Would they go back in time again, or do they do the trend of just keep going forward? Because we were in France, we're now in London, the time has moved on, and with the Pieces of Eden storyline, there can't be much more. They can, they can keep digging for this in people's memories, and I don't know if this is still, Desmond's memories that we're in, or is this another assassin, or I'm not sure. I'm it probably is Desmond's memories, and there's links to it somewhere. I just haven't really investigated that far. To me, the Desmond part of the storyline's gone. They handled the ending of that pretty poorly, I thought. But they've integrated it in how to keep it going, like how to keep the story going without Desmond pretty well. Because the story now focuses not in the present day but in the past, and that's what people. I mean, I know some people were like, "Oh, but the present day storyline is so interesting." Yeah, it probably could be. However, I'm more interested with the past storylines, because I get to run around an alternate history, more or less, seeing these things happen, like hanging out with Leonardo da Vinci, talking to George Washington, and talking to Charles Darwin, things like that. It's very interesting that it lets you do that type of thing. Okay, so we've got one last viewpoint, and it's over here, and then we'll have all the viewpoints that we need to get, which will be pretty cool. And then we'll get Evie in here, and we'll get her going to Edward Kenway's house. So yeah, I don't know. I think I would like it if they went forward a little bit more. Maybe I saw in Unity they do this bit at the beginning of the game where you see the different storylines, and I think one of them mentioned something about jazz, or it's like a kind of prohibition era storyline, it looks like, and that to me would look really cool. Like a jazz era, like 1950s Chicago, not for the 1950s, but I don't even know. I'll be honest, I don't know when the Prohibition era was. My history knowledge is not that great, but a Prohibition era American gangster story, but the assassins and Templars are all mixed in, and you're rubbing elbows with Al Capone and different things like that would be really cool. I hope they do something like that next. An Egyptian era, like running during the building of the pyramids and things like that, and maybe worship of the sun gods, which is where the aliens from this storyline, spoilers, from this storyline come into it. So I don't know, is that still a spoiler that this is all about aliens? Yeah, so I don't know if that'd be any good, to be honest. I mean, I would have to like get a look at maybe some gameplay videos, a couple of trailers, see what I think. But I don't know, Egyptian era. Is there a lot they could do with that? Because the way the mechanics have been building in this game, Like now you're using guns, and you've got a line launcher, and you've got all these different things that help you get around. Your mobility's a lot better. You've got wrist blades that fire out. You've got poison smoke bombs, things like that. That shows you the assassin's arsenal has been slowly building up as over the years, and they've been integrating new inventions and new weapons. To suddenly go back and be in a situation where you don't have these things, I don't know if people would reject that unless the story was really, really compelling. So I'm not sure how that would go down. I don't know if I would like that. Like I say, as a fan of these games, I probably would enjoy it after a fashion. I would probably get myself to enjoy it. I know that sounds weird. I would get myself to enjoy it, but I would play into it enough to really enjoy it. That's what I did with 3. At the start of 3, once the Kenway part finished, I didn't like playing as a young Connor. I found it a bit boring. But once I started getting more into it, and once Connor was allowed to run about the different cities freely, that's when I really enjoyed it. So, yeah. So I think that's all of the viewpoints. Nope. There's one more on the Thames. Right, last one. Sorry, everyone. I thought I'd just got the last one, but I hadn't. Forgot about that one in the middle of the water, because of course there would have to be one there, wouldn't there? I've just ran into the opposite end of the map from it, so yeah, that makes sense. Why don't we do a carriage? Yeah, we'll take a carriage. That's a girl. So, I know I said I don't like the carriages too much, but if this is going to get me where I need to go quicker, then let's do it. That's the way. So, with regards to this playthrough, I do want to 100% the game, so that does mean getting everything. So what I will be doing is making sure I get all the little side things that are there and collectibles, and I don't think the chests count towards 100% because there's so many of them littered around, and trying to find them all could drive a man crazy. So I don't know if that collects it, but I will be doing it as much as I can to get 100%. But most of my videos are going to be videos of me playing through the story mode. This is just an extra one that doesn't. I'm going to label it as 7.5 because part 7 was the last part, and that was quite a. I'll be honest, it wasn't my best effort because I didn't get to do any missions. So what I'm going to do is make sure that in nearly all my videos I'm going to be doing something of merit. Not just hunting down little collectibles, it's going to be side missions, activities, something like that. If I do need to hunt down little collectibles or something to finish off parts of the game, I will put them in videos, but I will mark them as what they are. So if people are interested in seeing that and listening to me drivel on, then yeah, I'll be more than happy to put those videos out. I will put them up anyway, but I'll be more than happy to have people watch them and comment on them and downvote them or upvote them. Or the whole upvoting downvoting thing, it confuses me. It's like Reddit. I go on Reddit quite often. I use Reddit a lot, but the whole upvoting downvoting thing is a weird world that I don't get into. I don't even up or downvote anything on Reddit because I don't know what it's gonna get me in the end. So I know it's like to get prominence, but what by prominence by doing what? I mean, if I want to see a post on a page, I just tell it to list new, or list old, or list hot, or there's a way to filter that kind of thing. So up and down votes I don't get. So yeah. Those videos that I'll be doing will be marked as just collectathons or something. I'll give it a name so that they know that that's all that video was, and if they want to skip it, they can. There won't be anything story relevant in it. I won't do anything that will move the story on. Maybe people don't care about it. That's absolutely fine. I'm not fussed either way. I'm just glad that people would watch a video. I'm just quite happy with that. because all I want to do is kind of keep people entertained. I've been entertained by people doing Let's Plays for a long time now, and with the ability to do it myself, I really wanted to give it a bash. So, yeah, oh, sorry, my attention was caught there because I was looking for a line launch. Hey, so we're going all the way up here. And then, should be just about done. Get this. Up we go. I'm not doing a leap of faith just yet. I haven't synchronized. So, sorry, that should be all of it. Let's have a look. Normally you get an achievement for doing all the viewpoints. Have I missed one? No. Weird. I don't do it for the viewpoints, for the achievements anyway. I'm not that fussed about it. But so, okay, I know there's some people watching on Twitch right now. What I'd say to them is, normally I do these videos, I stream to Twitch. What I do is I stream to Twitch and then upload the videos to YouTube. So what I'm going to be doing now is stopping this video here, so that I can basically start a new one. And that's going to be part 8 of my Let's 100% of Assassin's Creed Syndicate. So guys, I'm going to be stopping the video here. In my next video I'm going to be playing as Evie, and we're going to be going to Edward Kenway's house. So thanks for watching. My name is Space Cowboy, and I'll catch you later.